Hey, good morning. How's it going? Welcome. I'm excited to talk to you guys this morning. I woke up early again. Strava is always on my mind first thing in the morning. It's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. I wake up, I set my alarm for 4:20, 4:30, and then I wake up, I go to the bathroom, and then I put on all of my workout clothes, which I keep in a little basket so I don't have to figure out where any of my stuff is. I'm not the most organized when it comes to like little things. I'm like, well, where is it? I don't want to look for it. Just put it in one place. So that's always fun and I need it desperately. So went outside, ran this morning, and had some pretty great revelations. Like, whenever I'm running, I play the same song because I find playing too many different things sort of distracts me. So I play one song. While I'm playing that song, I go into this like meditative state while I'm running, and all sorts of things come to me. And part of the purpose of this vlog is to share those things that kind of come to me as I'm running. So one of the things that revealed itself to me while I was running was I was running and I was thinking about women and us as women, and as like a collective body of individuals in the planet. I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how the identity of woman has been put into earth, and so you get a lot of like this Mother Earth talk, and that's fine, but it's weird. I just think it's weird. And I wanted to remind all of us as women that we are the crown of creation. We are, like, when you think about just the beauty of just the trees and the sky and all that we are, that's like in the world, all of creation in the world, we are the literal crown that sits on top of all of these things. And it's, maybe I sound a little kumbaya right now, and that's okay too. But it's really incredible when you think about ourselves, when you think about us and the power that we have, like the power that we have as beings. And it's such a beautiful force to think about that's who we are. We are a power and a force in this world that can't be moved and can't be shaken. And I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here to share this space with you. I didn't even bring coffee this morning. I don't need any extra energy from anywhere. I'm feeling it, and it's so strong and it's so powerful, and it's a wonderful thing. So that's one thing I was thinking about for this morning. And the Crown of Creation talk, that came from, what book is that? What book is that? Wild at Heart. That's the man version of that book. I have to find the female version of that book. I don't remember what it's called, but I read it last year, and it was a wonderful book. I'll have to do a review on that book at some point. It's a really good book. You'll like it. So the second thing I wanted to talk about this morning was voice and voice culture. And I think I've said this before in a different video, but just thinking about where we are in the world right now, it is 2018. We're about to break into a shift. It's actually already shifted. But the world as we know it is very different right now than it was 50 years ago. And the world in 50 years will be very different than it is right now. Like, it's, well, those are obvious statements. Yes, okay, I understand that too. But what's happening is voice is going to be a central focus for us, for the world. Voice is everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. It's everywhere right now. If you think about how much time we spend on YouTube, not just you, me too. I mean, I spent quite a significant amount of time on YouTube in the last 5 years. Who knows how much YouTube I've watched? I could actually find out, if I went through and looked at my analytics, I could find out how much YouTube I've watched. Because I'd actually like to know. That's kind of an interesting thing to think about. But when you think about how much influence is out there in the world and how much of it you're taking in, like, I think it's good to think about how much you allow the outside to influence your decision making, who you are, because these things are forming our ideals about ourselves and about the world around us. And if we aren't careful, we will allow other people to decide and dictate who we are and what we believe. And that's what this is for. I truly believe that. I believe that with all of my heart, that the Bible is there to help us live within a certain boundaries so that we don't lose ourselves in the vastness that is 7-8 billion people that are in the world, who all have opinions, who all have belief systems. We have to focus ourselves and stay within these parameters. So I wanted to give an example about voice, because if you know me, which most of you who are going to watch this at some point at the beginning anyway, are going to be people who know me. And if you know me, you know that I don't talk a lot. I don't. And I don't talk a lot because, well, for a lot of reasons. One, I was told not to talk so much because I did talk a lot at the beginning of my life. So you talk a lot, like, keep it to yourself, hold it together. Another reason I don't talk a lot is because I feel like I might miss something if I'm not listening to people, because the people I'm around typically are extremely smart people. I don't spend a lot of time with people who don't know more than me. So if I'm around you, it's probably because you're extremely smart. If I'm trying to avoid you, okay, I'm sorry, that's not nice. But yeah, I'm trying to listen and learn as much as I can from the people around me. So that's another reason why I don't talk very much. And then the third reason why I don't talk very much is that I've become so used to not talking that now I'm questioning what I believe. This is why I started this YouTube channel, specifically so I can start being more frank on camera, so that when I'm in person, I can be more frank in person without being terrified of the response. Because YouTube is never short of comments. So I'll be expressing myself far more often here than not. So I find, I'd like to give an example, but I'm very iffy about this example. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So two people are watching a movie, and we're watching a movie, and we get to a point in the movie where someone says something like the N-word. Dun dun dun. It's like, oh crap! Like, what the heck is this? So the that word pops up, right? And when the word pops up, no one says anything. Like, two people just keep watching the movie, and you're like, oh crap! Like, no one said anything. So the movie keeps going, movie keeps going, movie keeps going. Like an hour later in the movie, it's like a 3 hour long movie. It was The Godfather. Yeah, it was The Godfather. And so another part of the movie, it gets even more. It's like, oh crap! Like, people are talking about like drug use and how, oh, we're only gonna sell drugs to blacks because they don't have souls, like let them die. Wow. No one says anything again, except it's like obvious, and like the tension is like, oh, and then like the other person's like, oh, but still doesn't say anything, but actually gets up and leaves the room. Like, just gets up and leaves the room, which is kind of a statement. Like, you're saying something with your actions. And that's the other point. You have to do something. Like, you have to say something. Like, we have to do something or say something, because inaction is complacency. We have to do something, whatever it is. If it's a comment, if it's a complaint, if it's like an outburst, it's like, what is this? I don't want to watch this. Fine, but just say something. Say something. Everybody needs to say something. Like, and then there's the part of like being the second person in the room, and like, you don't want to say something because you don't want to create an action for people to do. You want people to do it on their own. Like, just do it because you know that that's the thing to do. Yes. Personally, if I've never watched this movie before. Like, by the way, like, I actually couldn't even sit through the rest of it. Like, I could just get to like wherever I got, and I was like, okay, I'm done. But it's like a world famous movie. Like, everybody likes it. Everybody likes it. But no one's ever talked to me about that before. No one's ever mentioned, oh, like, it's kind of, they say some dicey things in that movie. Like, maybe you should watch it. Like, I don't know. Nobody does that. Maybe that's why it's such a good movie, because they're like, oh, it's honest. Yeah. So yeah, that it's interesting. Life is interesting, but we just have to, I think, as a culture, as an American culture, we really have to get used, and not just an American culture, but as a Christian American culture, we really need to get on our A game about talking about what our beliefs are, what our values are, and saying them out loud to people when they're talking to us. And it's okay to be rude. I think I'm getting to a place where I don't care anymore. Like, it's not even around like political stuff. I really try to keep that away from me, because it gets into my heart. I'm an empath. Like, I feel everything. I feel everything. So I try to take what I like to see in the world and just implement it in my everyday life. And that's working for me. But I digress. So I think that as a Christian American culture, we really have to be about our business when it comes to talking about our beliefs and our values and what we believe. I believe that Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior of the world. I believe that in order to have a good marriage, you have to not just love your husband, but respect him in private and respect him in public. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen in my life where women just kind of wipe out their husbands. And I'm not talking about my mother. Like, there's another woman in my life who was very contentious in her relationship with her husband. And it scared me. Like, it did. I'm like, why do people behave this way? But it's just interesting. Life is just so interesting, and it's just gonna keep going, right? Like, but we have to be firm. And I've allowed so many times, even in the past 90 days, I could count the number of times I've allowed someone to talk to me in a way that was beneath me, but I allowed them to do it because I respected them as a person. It wasn't my husband. He would never do something like that. Well, I hope he would never do something like that, but he's a person. But he just doesn't behave in that way, and I know what to expect from him. But there are people who I respect, and I can count the times that they have like done or said something to me, and I did not respond with immediacy. I did not give my opinion. I did not put myself out there, and I should have. I should. It's something that is quite pervasive. Everyone else does it. Everyone else is so comfortable with just whipping out and lashing out their opinions all over the place, and it's fine, but that doesn't work for me. And I'm getting to a place where I just kind of want to be in the battlefield of voice, because people are listening. Yeah, like people really are listening to everything, and they're taking it in. And it's so important to just stand in your own. I almost said it, but I'm going to stop saying that because it's a lie. I was going to say standing in your own truth. There is only one truth. There's one truth. And I've said this before in the past, and now I regret it, because now there's a whole culture around alternative facts. Facts and truth are not synonymous. Facts can change, and that's probably why that's a thing now. Truth, there's only one truth, and it's in accordance with principles and natural principles of life. I love. One of my favorite teachers is Dr. Miles Monroe. He's passed. I think he passed away in 2014. Incredible teacher, life teacher. If you're interested, you should go watch his videos, like Monroe Global. But I firmly believe in how he teaches. He does sound very like sexist, but that's neither here nor there. It really isn't. But it's just interesting. Life is so interesting, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share and to talk and to spend time and to just grow into my own voice. And I believe that it's just a natural process of just saying, this is what's true, this is not true, and knowing that for yourself and living in that, and what you know your truth to be. So, your truth again. See, it's a culture. Like, I've adopted this thing, and I don't like it. Like, it's a lie. There's no individualized truths. Like, there's one truth, and then there's life. So there's situations, and then there's life, and then finding a way to live well in that. So I'm going to read a proverb and a psalm. I'm going to start with a psalm. It's June 11th. Psalm. Okay. So Psalm 129, 1 through 8. Sorry, I'm looking all over the place. Reads, "For my earliest youth, my enemies have persecuted me. Let Israel now say, from my earliest youth, my enemies have persecuted me, but they have never been able to finish me off." Oh my God, this is from yesterday. This is 11 though. It's not 10. Did I read yesterday today? Probably. Let me check and see what yesterday was. Yep. I read yesterday. No, I did do that. I read yesterday today. Oops. That's okay. I'm just going to read it again. Ooh, actually, I think I'm just going to read 10 today instead, because this is actually kind of interesting. Okay, so today I'm going to read Psalms 128, 1 through 6, because that's what I was supposed to read yesterday. Sorry. "How happy are those who fear the Lord. Allow all who follow his ways. You will enjoy the fruit of your labor. How happy you will be, how rich your life. Your wife will be like a fruitful vine flourishing within your home. And look at all those children. There they sit around your table as vigorous and healthy as young olive trees. That is the Lord's reward for those who fear him. May the Lord continually bless you from Zion. May you see Jerusalem prosper as long as you live. May you live to enjoy your grandchildren, and may Israel have quietness and peace." That's great. Proverbs 16 through 31 through 33. "Gray hair is a crown of glory." I'm so excited about that because that's exactly what we were just talking about, being the crown. Sorry. Sorry, I'm getting out of control. Okay. Gray hair is a crown of glory. It is gained by living a godly life. It is better to be patient than powerful. It is better to have self-control than to conquer a city. May we throw the dice, but the Lord determines how they fall. Amen. That's great. I love this. So, okay. So let me think a little bit about the psalm. I'm sorry that I don't edit these, but I'm not sorry because it takes a lot of time to edit. So I'm just going to go in, okay? I'm just going to go in. So, and I can be a little long-winded, obviously. It's been 20-something minutes now. Okay, so Psalm 128, 1 through 6. "How happy are those who fear the Lord, all who follow his ways. You will enjoy the fruit of your labor. How happy you will be, how rich your life." Okay, so a lot of people think God is like some like tyrant with like Big Kate with magnifying glass, and that's not true. I think what this talks about is how happy are those who not just have fear, because I believe that fear is a tool that we use to keep us in line so we don't get lazy. Like, there are consequences that happen when you don't live your life in fear, when you don't have reverence for authority, and when you stay or you work within boundaries. Boundaries are the foundations of all good relationships. I believe with all my heart that I would have never found my husband if I wasn't trying to practice boundaries in my own life before I met him. I was trying so hard to just live a certain kind of way, to live a certain kind of life so that I can be a good wife, so that I can be a good person to myself. I struggled with that a lot, and I'm very, very uniquely positioned now to make good on that time investment. Like, the things that I have to do in order to care for myself are so much more than what I understood them to be a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I had no idea. When I moved to New York, I moved to New York in August of 2015. It was August 25th. It was hot. I had a huge suitcase, 2 huge suitcases, and it was the worst decision I ever made, trying to roll them around the city, trying to figure out where I was going to live. And all I had was in 2 suitcases. And I had no idea what I was doing. But I knew that when I moved to New York, kind of like my whole energy field shifted. I kind of felt like I was on vacation a little bit. And like my voice changed. Like I elevated all of my senses were just elevated. 1, because I didn't know where I was, and 2, because I didn't feel the same kind of pressure on my life before. And now, to fast forward 2 years, I'm no longer thinking about, there were such small things. Praise God, they were so small. I was so worried about my finances. I was so worried. God bless. If you are watching this and you are 20 to 29, please stop wasting your time worrying about money. Don't worry about money, because it's taking your energy, it's taking your life away to worry about it. Know where you are, budget, and just make sure that you're not just, we're not even going to go there. That's another video. I'll figure that out a different time. But I found that to love myself well now means having a routine, sticking to my routine, knowing what I'm going to do when I get ready, when I wake up, knowing how I'm going to feel every hour of my day effectively, and using that time to the fullest, getting the maximum amount of the time that I'm investing. When I know that I'm doing that, I feel incredible. We have 24 hours in a day. 24. How many of those hours are reaping rewards for you? Are they reaping benefits? Like, when you're cognizant of your time in that way, it really helps you to just follow these boundaries, like follow like a monomaniacal like lifestyle, just really focusing on your time. Because we all have 24 hours in a day, but how you use it is going to determine what's going to happen in your future. So today is your future. Today. Like, today is your future from yesterday, and 3 months ago and a year ago. Today is the future. So you need to be working towards a new future, but always just being focused and being centered on the day. And as you do that, you can enjoy the fruit of your labor, as it says in there. Like, you can enjoy the fruit of your labor at a different time, but just knowing to have those boundaries, knowing to have a routine in place, knowing what you believe, knowing those things, and maybe even talking about them, maybe even repeating them first thing in the morning. Like, this is huge. Like, there's those little slices of onion paper in here. That's a lot. Like, just pick 2 or 3 verses and try to live those for 3 months. Pick 2 or 3 really good ones, like your favorite ones. Meditate on those. Read those to yourself 2 or 3 times a day. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So that was the Psalm. The Proverbs, gray hair is a crown of glory. I love that so much. I should highlight that. Gained by living a godly life. It is better to be patient than powerful. It is better to have self-control than conquer a city. Self-control. I think that's what I was trying to hone in on when I first moved to New York. Because when I first moved to New York, when I was in Houston, all I could focus on was like putting out fires. It was like, oh my God, like this happened, put out this fire. Oh my God, this happened, put out this. Like, life was so situational for me. Oh my God, my glasses are so glary. Life was so situational for me. All I could think about was putting out fires. Make sure I have enough money to cover this. Like, my account was down to like the cent. Like, but I made sure I didn't go under because I was not paying $35. I was like down to like nickels and dimes, but I worked hard. I worked all the time. In undergraduate school, when I was an undergrad, I think the most jobs I worked at one time was 4 at once. Like, I was really milking every moment of my day to make money, and I was so like focused on it. But I managed my time well. Like, I got a lot done, but I was so tired. And when I moved to New York, I had to think differently about my time. I had to think differently about how I cared for myself. And I hope that you're able to do that too. I hope that like you think about what's important to you and how you're going to get what you want in this life. How are you going to do that? Like, what does that look like? Sit down and have a talk with yourself. Maybe you have to talk to yourself for like 3 or 4 days, but just do it. Write everything down that you're thinking about your life and your plans, and just focus on your voice, not everyone that's on YouTube. I know this is such a counterintuitive talk, right? I'm like, oh, watch my channel, listen to my voice, but I'm telling you to listen to yours. Like, find your space of meditation, find your song, and just allow yourself to open up and listen to what you're saying to yourself. Like, listen to you. You are your priority. So I'm just gonna end that here. Thank you so much for spending time with me. This is a lot of time, actually. It's quite a lot of time, but you can also count this towards your Bible time too. So that's a good thing. One of the things that I want to focus on in this whole 50-day YouTube video challenge I'm doing for myself is to focus on how much time I'm investing in my Bible, because God tells us to tithe, and one of the things that's as important as your money is your time. So if you tithe 10% of your time, that's 2 hours and 40 minutes of the day. So if you break that up, 50 minutes, like morning, lunch, and in the evening time. So you can work that in there somewhere. So I hope that this was useful. I hope that if you have any questions, if you have any comments, I'm sure somebody will say something, but it's such a good thing. It's such a good thing to just focus on yourself, focus on your voice, and I care about you. I love you. If you want to talk, if you want to send me a DM, I'm Scarlett and Brian on Instagram, and Scarlett with 2 T's. And I'm also the Scarlett Market if you're interested in art. I have lots of decorative arts to share. But yeah, just shout me out, DM. Feel free to email if you'd like to do that as well. And just thank you for your time. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested, and let's spend some more time together. Literally 50 days, so I'm gonna keep doing this. I'll be here every morning, so bring your coffee, bring your free time. Maybe this can be me time. Okay, maybe we can spend this me time together. So I cherish you, and just cherish yourself, and have a good one.